I've got a hot date with a beautiful lady in that house. We're gonna go out to eat tonight, and then Houston and I have a date with a deer blind tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, we're gonna do some serious hunting for the next few days. He's out on fall break. Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by Policy Genius. If you have anyone relying on your income, life insurance is a must. And if you're like me, you spend time out in the woods by yourself hunting, that's dangerous. On tractors, that's dangerous. Driving down the road, going to the grocery store, that's dangerous. And life insurance can literally save your family. My dad passed away from cancer when I was 21 years old. I honestly couldn't afford the funeral as a college student. And fortunately, he had a life insurance policy that covered all of his funeral expenses, and it was a huge lifesaver to be able to not have to worry about that funeral expense. So even if you have a life insurance policy through work, it may not have enough coverage, and it also may not follow you when you leave that job. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. So with just a few clicks, you can go through and compare all the top insurance companies' rates. And since they really don't have an incentive to recommend one company over another, they're not selling one specific brand, their agents can help you compare different policies and figure out which one's going to work for you and your family. Parents, grandparents, people that are employed, self-employed, it doesn't matter. Life insurance, if you have someone that depends on you, you've got to have it. So really, they just simplify the process of getting life insurance. It's no wonder they have thousands of 5-star ratings on Google and Trustpilot. Your loved ones deserve a financial safety net, and you deserve a better way to find and buy it. So head on over to policygenius.com/armsfamily, or just click the link in the description box down below. Go over there, find your free quotes, and see how much money you can save today. She ain't going nowhere. Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and as you can see, I made a trip over to Mill Creek to pick up the skid steer, the forestry mulcher, and Dusty's tree puller. Since we're doing so much deer hunting here, I'm kind of trying to lay off of the work projects here, at least through most of deer season. I know we could come over here and do some work and not spook all the deer out, because I've seen it happen. I've watched it. I've been in here on the skid steer and have trail camera pictures of deer feeding 100 yards from where I'm working. The key is we're after a mature buck. We're after a couple mature bucks. And those mature bucks are a little smarter than your average, you know, teenager. And the does and stuff don't mind. So I'm going to load all this up and take it back home so I can use it on my neighbor's property that I just recently leased, because it is covered in cedar trees, and you guys know there's nothing I love more than destroying cedar trees. It just makes my heart happy. But anyways, I've got a lot of projects planned over on the Kirby place, and obviously this is going to be a big key component of a lot of those projects. So we're going to take it home and do some work there. I don't know if I'll get any work done today. I need to grease everything up, check everything, fill diesel, diesel tank in my pickup. But that 50-gallon tank, when I built that, I thought was plenty big enough. I say built it. When I put a pump on a 50-gallon tank, I thought it was going to be big enough to, fulfill my needs. We had one tractor that held about 8 gallons of diesel. Now we have 2 tractors and a skid steer, and this holds about 23 gallons. So I can't even fill everything I have one time with that tank. So it's just been camped out in the truck so I can keep refilling it. But yeah, I've got a few things I want to do here. I need to run around, check some cameras, check on some feeders, just spend a little bit of time on the property while I'm here. So I'm going to do that, and then I've got to hurry up and head home because I've got to get Emily to town. She's got plans with some friends. I got to get her to town pretty soon. So anyways, let's see what the day brings. Now I know it seems kind of late in the year to be baling hay, which it's middle of October, and it is kind of iffy because we're in here deer hunting. This is where we deer hunt. But I literally just drove into this field. The cabin's right behind me, and there was a young buck standing at the cabin. I had no idea these guys were here at the moment because, well, there was a deer in front of the cabin, and they're baling hay just a couple hundred yards behind it. But this is the first cutting of hay we've got off of our hay fields here at Mill Creek this year. But as you can see, it's pretty much all just native grass. And we didn't cut it earlier because we had such a drought and the grass was stressed out and pretty well just died back. But we got a big rain a few weeks ago, and all this stuff just perked back up, and it's green and lush. And we'll only try to cut hay over here once a year, and I really don't need the hay personally, but I like to have it cut once a year, and it keeps the hay field in good shape. And all of this is going to go to Dusty at Cross Timbers Bison to help feed the bison for the winter. So he'll pay for it. I'm not paying for the hay and paying for it to be cut, but this will really help them out, and it cleans our pastures up. They go from tall and not gonna say overgrown, but to nice and clean just once a year. It'll all regrow, and there's really not a very large portion of this place at Mill Creek that we baled. Out of 160 acres, there's probably 15 acres that we're cutting in hay. So it keeps this hay meadow looking good, and helps feed the bison this year. She laid an egg. Well, I'm just gonna let them do their thing. Like I said, I didn't know they were here today. They came over, I don't know, 2 days ago and cut all of the hay. But he hadn't told me when he was gonna bale it, so I was just kind of out looking for deer and checking cameras, and well, they're on the far side. So the hay meadow's on the very far, let's see, south west portion of the property, and we do a lot of the hunting farther to the south and east, so this really isn't going to affect the deer hunting at all. And I don't know, it benefits, the benefits outweigh the negatives for sure. So I don't know how many big round bales it's going to make, but as you can see, he uses big heavy duty John Deere balers and tractors and stuff, and those hay bales, when he rolls them up, they're well over 1,000. I'm going to say maybe 1,200 pounds. Some of them may be heavier than that, depending on the grass. But anyways, back to work. Play. Work. You hear that sound? That's those airbags airing up. So I had some airbags installed on this pickup so that it would have stiffer rear suspension and ride a little bit better. Stiffer, but ride better. Better for towing, better for the ride, everything. So when I hook onto something big, like big heavy 75 horsepower skid steer, I will air them up to like 75 pounds. Normally I run them at like 15 to 20 pounds of pressure. So it really does help. It really brings up the rear end of this pickup, levels it out, and tows a lot better. You guys aren't gonna believe what I just saw. Sometimes I don't understand people. Check this video out. It's kind of short, but check it out. Yeah, that is a like 90s model single cab Dodge Dakota towing a fifth wheel camper, an RV. You talk about dangerous. They actually stopped at the stop sign. I stopped. I pulled over. I'm like, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, fellas. And the driver, no offense, you do you, buddy, but you're putting a lot of lives at risk. Bump. I'm on my driveway, by the way. I hit a big ant pile and make this curve sharp. Big winding curve here to go around it. But anyways, I said, you're putting a lot of lives at risk doing this. But he said, oh, this little truck's got a V8 in it. It'll do fine. Like, it ain't the go I'm worried about. It's the whoa. You do not have the stopping power in a Dodge Dakota to stop a fifth wheel camper going down the highway at highway speeds. But I don't know. Sometimes you just got to shake your head and hope for the best. Well, I think that's about as far as I'm going to make it on the equipment side of things for today. I've got a lot of plans, a lot of plans for this right here across the creek on my neighbor's place. And you guys, I don't think some of you quite understand how much I enjoy spending time in these machines running this equipment, and the satisfaction I get from seeing the before and after, whether it's using the big mower to mow a field and knock down the weeds and make it look good, or the disc mulcher knocking out cedar trees, or brush cutters, whatever it is. It's no different than most men that live in town. It's the same feeling they get from mowing their lawn. Those guys that are perfectionists when it comes to their lawn and there's nothing out of place. Yeah, my lawn's not like that, but, you know, at other places, I want them to look good. So the reason I'm not going to go any farther today, I'm going to call it quits for the day on this, because I've got a hot date with a beautiful lady in that house. We're going to go out to eat tonight, and then Houston and I have a date with a deer blind tomorrow, starting tomorrow. We're going to do some serious hunting for the next few days. He's out on fall break, so he's got his crossbow all dialed in. He's ready to do some serious deer hunting, and we may not, I don't know. He says he's going to hold out for a really big buck this year, but I also know when that kid gets in a blind and a really nice buck gets in front of him, he's an 11-year-old kid. They're not going to pass up a really nice buck. Most of them won't. Anyways, so, yeah. Probably bring you guys along on the hunt. Well, today is the first day of fall break for Houston and Emily, but Houston's wanting to do some hunting, some hardcore hunting. So we've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of no school. So I bet you can't guess what we're going to be doing for the next several days.
Yeah.
The deer are moving. Deer on their feet this morning. We've seen several bucks. The does are out running around playing. It's 9 o'clock in the morning.
That's good. That's like really good.
Deer are on their feet. The weather's changing. It's really not cold outside. It's like 65 degrees. But over the next couple of days, we're going to have a weather pattern shift, and temperatures are going to drop. I was looking at the weather this morning, and Saturday morning, wind chills are supposed to be near freezing.
What?
Not actual temperatures, but the wind chill's going to be near freezing. So that should get the bucks up moving a lot. And we've seen a couple good bucks this morning, but not the shooters that we're after. Right?
Yep.
We've got about 3 bucks here on this property at Mill Creek that has got Houston's brain fired up right now for deer. So we're gonna be in it for the long haul probably, unless we get a buck down sooner rather than later. The winds have switched around, and we've snuck into a ground blind. You guys haven't seen us hunt at all this year. It's the first sit here, and there's been quite a few bucks using this little field. We're in the same field that Emily killed her big 10-point in last year. So, fingers crossed. These bucks do what they've been doing for the last several days. We haven't been able to hunt here because of the wind. Finally got a good wind. Now we just need the bucks to do their part. Yep.
Yeah. Texas.
Yeah. Hey y'all, it's us again.
Yep.
We're back. Feels like hunt number 75.
Pretty sure it is.
We're still in pursuit of a big whitetail buck. We're hoping this evening he shows up. Because the last 2 days, not so much. We're gonna do it tonight. I got a feeling.
Me too.
If it was armadillo, if we were hunting armadillos, right now, I think we would have about 75.
Yeah.
Because everywhere we step on this Mill Creek property, there are armadillos. Everywhere. All the time. Constantly. But the deer are a little more elusive.